Hello everyone, welcome to this session. And this is session is basically for the Kubernetes cluster, how to create the Kubernetes cluster and what is the requirement and how to create that. So the very first requirement is a BPC and subnet. So I have created a BPC over here. This is my BPC, and inside the BPC I have created one subnet with primary and secondary IP ranges. So this is my primary secondary IP range. Is the primary IP range is 10.0.0.0/26, and these two are my secondary IP ranges. So one I created for the pod and one for services. So whatever workload I want to distribute on the secondary range, and for secondary range also, this will use the same gateway for communicate. So if there's any pod or any Kubernetes cluster is in in this secondary range, it can be communicate through the this gateway. Okay, so this is the main benefit in GCP, and also in GCP we need no need to install Docker or anything for the Docker is a by default is there uh, in GCP environment. Only we need to run the Docker commands and pull the Docker images from the Docker Hub. So now go to the Kubernetes is a go to the Google Cloud Platform, and in the hamburger menu, just click it, go to the Kubernetes engine and click cluster. Then you will get the Kubernetes cluster option. Just this is to deploy the container and this is to deploy cluster. So what is container? Container is the smallest unit for Docker. While you are working with Docker, is the container is the smallest unit. And while you're working with the Kubernetes, is the pod. Pods, a pod is the smallest unit. Okay, so create it. Here we have two options: GKE standard and GKE autopilot. In GKE standard, it's based on the pay per node. Means in your cluster, how many nodes are there? It's a three node cluster, it's a two node cluster, it's a five node cluster, like that. So you are going to pay for per node if in case you are using the GKE standard. Okay, and in GKE standard you have access or you can manage the nodes. Okay, if you are going with a GKE autopilot mode, you are paying for the node, not for the uh, complete node. Is a you are only paying for the pod, which is the smallest unit in GKE autopilot mode. Okay, so all, apart from node, all the things like is a cluster, is a node that are managed by GKE. Okay, it means you have a minimum access to manage the GKE environment in autopilot mode. So that's why I'm going to choose this GKE standard. Just click on the configuration and it will redirect you to the configuration page. So here is a cluster one. You can choose the cluster one test zonal. My BPC is in Asia North one. Okay, because in if I am going with the quota limits in Asia North one, I'm getting the maximum is the unlimited uses of some resources. So that's why I'm choosing this region. So I need to choose the region here, Asia North East one. So it's a Asia Northeast 1A. Okay, this is my regular release static version of the control plan. This is 1.2. This is my control plan. This control plan in which our Kubernetes uh, components like API engine, storage, your scheduler, and controller are located in the control panel. And next one, apart from controller panel, we have nodes. So this is the configuration for the control panel, which I can show you from here. In the previous video I have shown you, this is control plan. In the control plan we have resource controller, API server, scheduler, and storage. All these resources are in the control plan. Okay, so next, default pool. Default pool, mention it with the test. Number of nodes, I can mention one, because enable auto scaling is a auto scaling dynamically creates or deletes nodes. If you want, you can create it. Okay, maximum 1 to 0. Okay, is if specify node location. If I want to specify that default node location is a 1A or B, I'm creating here is a zonal cluster. Okay, so no need to make any changes. Go to the node OS version. If you want to change it, you can change it to Ubuntu containerized application. Then boot disk size. This is my maximum pod per node. It's a based on the /24. So here I am putting 5. Okay, so must provide an integer between 8 to 110. Means it's an integer between 8 to, means minimum 8 or maximum 110 in case you are using /24. So I'm putting this 110 only. Okay, so for this is a Google link where maximum pod per node is a based on the CIDR range. If it's a /28 is a 8, /27 9 to 16, slash 26, and /24 is a this one. So maximum pods per node is the based on this requirement, and in this article you can get the all other quota limits related to this. Okay, so I will share this link also in the uh, comment section. Okay, is if it's a network tag, you can check if any network tag is there. So is a test df. I have created one tag based firewall rule, so I can use that over there. Is a test df. Okay, so I'm putting it here. Is a test df. Okay, and automatically create secondary IP range. No, because I have already the secondary IP range in my BPC. So I just go to choose that is a pod and service. Okay, you can see it here. I'm going to the BPC range, is a BPC network. Here you can see two more ranges, 192.168.0.0.24 and this one. So sir, I'm choosing 0024. Okay, securities, no need to choose anything here. Default allocation, if you want, you can use the cloud APIs, set access for each API, but allow default access because I don't have any API options available. Metadata, no need to choose there. By default, is a disable legacy endpoint is a true. Okay, automation, enable maintenance window. If you want, you can check it out. Just check this checkbox. Enable notification if you want vertical pod auto scaling. I In my previous video I already updated you guys about the vertical and the auto scaling things. There are four way of auto scaling: horizontal pod auto scaling HPA, vertical pod auto scaling VPA, and cluster auto scaler CA, and NPA, node auto provisioning. So here you can see NAP is a NAP, node auto provisioning, and vertical pod auto scaling. So if you want, you can enable it. Just click yes, and here for uh, node auto provisioning, you can choose the options there. Okay, I'm not choosing this any option, taking it as default. Net, next is networking, is just showing my, if you have any shared network, then you can choose it like that here and choose the shared network option over here. Okay, is a techie test BPC. No, this in this network. So I'm in the same network here, test BPC, and no need to make any changes. It's a maximum pod limit 110 cluster. If they automatically create secondary IP range, no. Uh, yes. Okay. So enable IP native traffic if automatically create secondary ranges. My enable to let Kubernetes engine manage the secondary ranges used by this cluster. Okay. Disable to use range which are created and managed manually. So that's why I'm enabling this. Okay. Service address range, it will take automatically from this one. This is range I have provided here, so I can provide it here. uh, which I have taken this 24.192.168, so same range I will provide it here, or leave it. Let's see the error. Okay, in security we have an option to enable configuration GKE node. So this is enable confidential GKE nodes. So this service adds protection to your data in use by keeping memory of your nodes encrypted with keys that Google's does not have the access to this service supply. So whatever the keys, you can use your own key there in the security option here, your own key, then you no need to choose this. Okay, enable application layer secrets. You need to provide the manage keys, customer keys. If you have key, you can put the keys over here. So it will take. You don't have key, you can create the key. Okay, so I don't have this option enabled. Also enable workload identity. You need to provide workload identity. First you create the workload pool, then you need to provide the identity over here. Is the IAM part. This is role based access. For role based access I have created a separate PPT, and I will show that in my next video, or the is a complete uh, for the role based access or IAM for Kubernetes only. So for that I have created these things here. These all are the Kubernetes role based access concept. So for that I have create a separate video. So no need to do anything here, just metadata and create it. So once it's getting created, we can do one thing. We can run some Docker commands or use that. So first go to the Cloud Shell, create it here, click activate Cloud Shell, and once it's getting open, you can launch it from here, open new window. So it's the opening in a new window. So once it open and you authorize this to use uh, for your project or for your environment, so what you need to do here, from here you can make the changes: color, theme, text size, font. Okay, so I'm keeping this in the large size. Okay, so after that, first we need to check the Docker version. Is the Docker, if it's showing the Docker version, it means Docker is already installed and running over here. Docker version. Okay, is the Docker version of Docker server engine version this one. Okay, so here Docker is already installed, and here is the getting created. Now we can close this one, and uh, if you want to use this with a pipe, you can use less or more pipe with this. Just use less. Okay, okay. So this once you use with the pipe like less or more, you can get one by one all the lines. So also you can run the uh, Linux commands over here like ls. So ls, it's showing you files or folders, whatever is there. So here now we have only one file. If you want to read this file, you can use cat and the file name. Need to copy this. No, it's a complete line. Okay, copy and here paste. Then enter. This is my readme file, and these are the basic Linux command which is required if you are working for Docker or for Cloud Shell or for Kubernetes. Okay, then you also can use Docker container command. If ls, you can use the Docker container ls, or if you want to Docker container only, it will show you the uh, line of number of commands over here like wait, update, pause, stop, start, run, remove. Docker container if you want to remove any container, if you want to run the container, if you want to stop and start the container. These are the commands over there. Okay, let's see where is this our cluster creation is here in the is the cluster is created with the name of test. So go to the cluster, the total CPU 2 and the memory is 4 GB. Is a cluster test. If you will create click edit, you can edit this also. I'm just clicking on the edit, and I'm just checking what the things I can cluster below, edit the cluster below. Okay, so these are the things, some things which is showing with the log, it can be managed by Google only, but this pen sign I can change. Okay, that can be managed by us. So this is my control plan zone A, default zone, node zone is a because it's a single node cluster. So that's why I can manage the node only, not the control plan while working with GKE. So control plan is completely managed by Google. So I can work, I need to work here. Like node pools are the default node zone unless a different location is specified. Okay, means if I have created /1a /1b or /1c, then it should be a different node for each. Okay, upgrade available. So if I want, I can just click here and it will upgrade this. So if you want, just click it here and you have the upgrade one. You can upgrade the release. Okay, Next, automation. Maintenance window, anytime if you want, you can change it. Maintenance execution, you can change it. Notification, if you want is a disabled, you want to enable, you can enable it. Vertical pod auto scaling, you can enable it. Okay. Or node auto provisioning, you can enable it. Just you need to checkbox, click on the checkbox. Or auto scaling profile you need to select is the optimized utilization or balance. It's a balance is default, so I'm going with the default only, but you can choose anyone. Okay. In the networking section, private cluster is a log because it's a managed by these things, managed by GCP. Okay. Service address range, this one. Cluster pod address range, this one. This all range comes with the secondary IP range. Once we subnet that is a like control E Google, and now I'm going to visual subnet calculator. So from there I can calculate the subnet also. It's taking this range automatically for the pod and that things. Okay, so my cluster is fine. Now I'm going to check the cluster is running on what all services are running in the environment or in the cluster. So first, Kubernetes get nodes. How many nodes I have? So, sorry, is a kubectl command is there. So kubectl for everything. So we use kubectl kube control. So I was confusing for the Kubernetes only. So kubectl get nodes. Okay. Now the connection to the server localhost 80 what refused. Did you specify the right host or port? Mm, in which techie plot? Cluster test one. How many nodes are here? Cluster test number of node 1. So it should be shown here one node cluster. Okay. So while I'm taking kubectl, the commands which works with kubectl is here. CP, auth, bug, alpha, API resources, API version. So I'm just checking with the kubectl version. Okay. So kubectl version is just showing client version info. This is my version v123 git location, and this is go version is a go is a tool. So platform Linux AMD actually is a host or port. Okay. Also I can check with the Get pod, if I have any pod, kubectl get command. So if anything is there with the get, you must specify the type resources to get. Kubectl API resources. Okay. So it's a API hyphen resources. Okay. Then get node. Can node. Unexpected error. I can use the nodes over here. No, just a moment. Maybe any update is there, or I need to update the version first. I'm launching it again from here, existing session. So dismiss. Again, I'm launching it. Here, my cluster, one node, total CPU, total memory. So while I'm going with the control, is a more option. So just showing me the version, client version, Docker client version. Then one by one is the Docker engine, server engine. So okay, now run with the kubectl get command. So is there any command? You must specify the type of resources you want. So is a kubectl get node. Did the fuse localhost 8080 was the fuse? You specify the right host or port. So I think it's due to the upgradation. So first I am going to the upgrade this to latest one because I'm using the older version of the Kubernetes control plan. So upgrade available. So first I need to upgrade this to latest. This is my latest and I'm the use you're choosing the lower one. So save changes and it's getting upgraded. So once it upgrade, we can use it the same command over there. It's still getting updated. So in this video session, we have uh, in this session we have created a Kubernetes cluster. It's a zonal cluster. We have upgraded the zonal cluster as well as uh, we have tried some basic Docker commands from Cloud Shell. So once it upgrade, we'll check some new Docker commands because uh, that I was working with the Docker version with the an older command as well as the new kubectl commands was not working. So what happen whenever it's Kubernetes comes with the upgrade, it's comes with the multiple changes. It can be with the command line, it can be with the configuration. So it's not possible that the in the older version that command was working, it will be work with the newer version also. That's why I have upgraded this with the latest upgraded this to the latest version, and after that I will check the get command. Okay, or most probably I will show you in the next video. Now I get this, the cluster control plan is upgraded successfully. Okay, so I have opened this in. just for the testing. The CLS is working. Okay, so here go to the connect command line access. Configure kubectl command line access by running the following command. So copy this command and paste it here. Authorize, and when you get connected with the cluster, so now you can check the kubectl command from here. Kubectl get node and is fetching the detail, I think. Uh, Now the name is a GKE cluster test. This one, this is my node detail ready. Itne minute the version is this one. Okay. Now if you want to check get parts detail, if you have created the part over there, you will get the detail also. So these are parts. No resources found. Okay. If it's a pod, no resources found because I have not created any pod over there. Okay. So this is the way to get connected. So okay. So see you in the next session, while I will show you how to get connected with the cluster and run the all the commands. And before that, before finishing this session, ending the session, I will run some Docker commands like how to pull the image, like doc docker image. Suppose I want to pull some image pull. Which image is a Ubuntu is there, and one more is alpine linux, which is a new in the market. So I'm going to pull the alpine image. Alpine, okay. Latest is just pulling this one, and it's a pull the image. So if you want to run any web server or web application like nginx on the linux platform, like alpine or ubuntu, you can use this. Like just put the nginx next. No, it's ng. Okay. No, I'm somewhere. I'm putting the incorrect name over there. Okay, so it's nginx. So once you pull the docker images from the docker hub, now you can check it that which container is running or which image is running. So you have pulled two images. Now you can check docker image. So this is showing you the image command. Use docker image command, manage images, build history, import, load, ls. Okay, remove, this is for remove. Okay, so here docker image ls will show you the images which you pulled or which is running over there in your environment. Is a nginx and alpine. Okay, is a tag alpine with latest one, and this or is a very less, with the very less size like 23 MB, and it's a 5.57 MB. Okay, also if you want to run the container using this docker, you can use this, like create docker container container run is a Either you can use hyphen I hyphen T, or you can use IT. Is a IT, hmm, I or T. Okay, hyphen hyphen. You can put any name, like I am putting the name C1 or test one. No, is a test is everyone is a container. So con one. Okay, is the name. Uh, Hyphen name, and with which image I want to use is I want to use alpine. Okay, so it's a created, and now I can check it, like is a with this icon is a getting created, and here I can run the command under this container, like I have config. Okay, so what is the IP address of this container is this one, 172.168.0.2. Apart from that, if I want to create any file like cat file one, okay, here, okay, is a control file. So where is going? Why is not okay? Say stop. So now is a you can also ping which IP 172.168.0.2. Okay, is a pinging. Also, if you have any other IP in the environment, you can ping it, like if suppose I'm going to ping any IP from the networking over here, is this range, no, this is the endpoint. I can check it. It is a pinging from here, is a control jet. Okay, it's a pinging. Hmm. Okay. Also, I can check if suppose I'm working here and I want to exit from this. So is that there is a two way. One is control plus D. I can exit and stop the container. If I don't want to stop the container, there is option control P and control Q. So hold the control and control P and then control Q to exit from the container without stopping that. But if you want to stop the container and exit from that, then you have an option to use control D. Okay, so I'm using control D now to stop the container and closing the session for today. We'll see you in the next session.